Hi everyone and welcome to my Eternity Isle tour. I'm excited to show you how I've decorated this map whilst working with a reduced item limit from when I played on the Switch. My current item limit is sitting very comfortably at 2,400 with 372 unique items, so I've still got plenty of room to spare. I also have a full tour of my main valley, which is completely Switch friendly as well if you'd like to check that out, but for now let's get started. So we'll start off in Ancient's Landing and go over to this smaller area. This is just a bit of a filler area which I've kept in theme with the ancient abandoned feel. Moana's fish stall is also here and I just about managed to squeeze this into the corner. I've placed one of the larger wild Tangle tree clusters, and these type of items have been a saviour from item limit, along with using lots of paths and lots of fencing. Heading across the bridge into the docks, I've gone with a build which is loosely inspired by Star Wars. We've got some futuristic items mixed with more rustic items and warmer tones. I think this contrast works really well here. This was the very first place I decorated in Eternity Isle, and I still really like it and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Next is a space which I've dedicated to Merlin. I've kept everything very natural and stuck to cool blue tones, and I do love how pretty the blue looks in Ancient's Landing. I've also placed a time bending table here for convenience should I ever need to use it. For the overlook, I've continued with the futuristic vibe and I've added Eve's spaceship. I created a little mushroom farm which is a bit random, but I think the glowing pink mushrooms feel really fun and otherworldly. I've also placed the inside out building here because it pairs really nicely with Eve's home. I'll show you both of these areas again at sunset because Merlin's blues look even prettier at night and Eve's pink and purple lighting looks really cool. Heading up the stairs, I've done an abandoned area with the castle walls, lots of foliage and then a sword in the stone item, just so it ties in with Merlin's area. I've hidden Kristoff's stall away here, only because the DLC stalls got added after I decorated Ancient's Landing and I didn't really have another suitable place for it. Overall, these smaller sections came together nicely and really suit the feel of Ancient's Landing. The last part of this biome is the courtyard. On the right, I've created an orchard to neatly store all my forageable trees and bushes. I tend to keep a separate area for forageables in all my maps on Dreamlight Valley. This is just for ease and organisation. Then on the other side, I've got Wally's house and just a few items which match the junkyard aesthetic. Then lastly, I've sectioned off and tucked away Goofy's stall and Gaston's stall. I kept this area pretty simple and open, but it works well for what I need. So next up, we've got the glittering dunes and we're heading straight into my city build. I created a high street lined with city-style buildings mixed with warm-coloured buildings that blend nicely with the desert surroundings. This includes the Tower of Terror as well. Further in, I've got a market street, and then as you turn the corner, I've got Tiana's restaurant. Throughout this biome, I've used the Disney Parks entrances to keep everything accessible and to also act as a gateway into different areas. It's a fairly basic city layout, but I added touches of desert foliage to help it feel more aligned with the style of the glittering dunes. Moving into the Oasis, I have both Eric and Ariel here. The upper level is where I've placed Eric's castle. I incorporated the casita walls into this build alongside the river kit pieces to surround the castle. Heading down into the lower level, I used the mermaid archways and the matching gazebo. I tried to make this area feel really bright and colourful to match the overall aesthetic of Ariel's house. I love how Eric's little area turned out, but Ariel's build in the Oasis is definitely not my favourite. Past the city build and going into the wastes, I have my Aladdin area. I've bordered this biome with the Aladdin walls and covered it with the golden opal path to give it more of a fancy feel. I've added a few touch of magic water rugs, and the idea to place them with the waterfalls behind the archways did come from Dreamlight Anya. This was back during the Aladdin update when she uploaded some builds, so be sure to check her out too. I did section off a small part to make sure I could include Aladdin's gem stall and a crafting station. Across the way is another filler area for the well placement, which I've just kept really basic with checked pattern and foliage. I really enjoyed creating a more luxurious, fancy part of the aisle dedicated to Aladdin and Jasmine. We have so many themed items for them, it was finally nice to make proper use of them. The last part of the glittering dunes is the borderlands, and I took inspiration from the Oasis Retreat Star Path items when decorating here. As you can see, I've placed the cosy wicker house, the relaxing oasis, and then some of the other white canvas and wicker style pieces. In keeping with the desert style, I added plenty of cacti and thought the cactus house was perfect for this corner. You can definitely see the influence taken from the Star Path here, and I think I managed to create a decent build with the items we got. Finally, we've reached the wild Tangle, which overall has a fairy core theme. The first little section is another really simple filler area with a gazebo, pattern and plenty of foliage and flowers. The checked pattern does take a while to place, but I can't stress enough that it massively helps with your item limit. Across the bridge and into the promenade is my Tinkerbell and Pixie themed area. I've stuck to yellows, greens, whites and browns here to keep everything cohesive. I've got Tinkerbell's house, the Pixie Mill and another gazebo with a small seating area. I'm obsessed with the table that has the dewdrop spider webs on it, and those leafy chairs just scream fairy core to me. I've also placed the teapot house and the yellow teapot and teacup from the Alice in Wonderland update to give the whole space an oversized, whimsical feel. The giant Bugs Life foliage helps reinforce that same vibe. This has got to be my absolute favourite build in the whole of the isle. On the lower level of the promenade, I tried something a little bit different and I filled everything but the path with beach grass. I added 2 flower-themed houses, Beast's flower stall and the giant purple flowers and mushrooms, just to keep that oversized fairy car look. I placed a lot of the butterflies here too to really enhance the bright, overgrown, summery atmosphere. Next up is the lagoon, where I've created a Neverland area for Peter Pan. Peter Pan's treehouse is front and centre, and then I've placed a tree cluster with a winding path around. In the water, I built a small pirate area representing Captain Hook, and I had to include the rainbow so it truly felt like Neverland. Around Peter Pan's house I made a river, and I've also placed a few water pieces around the biome along with a couple of Peter Pan Lost Boys style items. My favourite thing about this biome is probably the treehouse with the river wrapping around it. I also love the foliage outlining the curved path. The logs and tree stumps really pull the woody tones together. Moving into the grove, Fairy Godmother's house is on the left, complete with a mini pumpkin farm and Wally's garden. I've placed a clock tower here along with Mushroom Manor to match the orange and brown tones of this build. Behind Mushroom Manor, I've kept things simple with rocky paths leading into other areas. I love how the blue tones of the trees stand out next to the orange and brown colours. I wanted this space to feel rustic and cottagey whilst keeping in with a fairy car style, and I think I achieved that. The next part is my well area in the grasslands, and I wanted it to feel really colourful, bright and very spring-like, so I used lots of pastel foliage and items. I love how this small area turned out, and I really enjoy walking through it. Last but not least is the Tangled area. I've used the Tangle themed Goofy stall and then placed Rapunzel's tower across the bridge. As it's such a small section, I wasn't able to fit much here other than a few Tangle themed items. I placed the cobblestones around the tower in a circle. I think I saw this on Instagram or Pinterest and thought it was a great idea. This area is very much a Rapunzel focused corner, but I do think it ties in nicely with the whimsical fairy tale feel of the other biomes. And that brings us to the end of my Eternity Isle tour. I'm so happy with how this turned out, and since I don't visit the Isle very often, I can see me keeping it decorated like this for a very long time. I hope you enjoyed the tour and that it gave you some inspiration, whether you're a Switch or non-Switch player. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye everyone.